Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be with you. I'm Asli Ozbora Tarhan. I'm the Secretary General of Turkish Ready-Mix Concrete Association THBB and the Technical Manager of European Ready-Mix Concrete Organization ERMCO. I will present the effects of COVID-19 on the Turkish ready-mix concrete industry and the best practices implemented in Turkey. I will first of all present the Turkish ready-mix concrete industry, then summarize the effects of COVID-19, and then report on the best practices implemented in Turkey. Let's start with the Turkish ready-mix concrete industry, and let me introduce you the Turkish Ready-Mix Concrete Association. We have been serving our industry for the last 32 years. We are presenting the sector with 67 members, which represents the 70% of the whole Turkish RMC industry. We work hard and effectively with our 31 employees. We work with 157 industry experts within 4 different committees of THBB. We have provided trainings to more than 16,000 industry employees in the last 32 years. In 2019, we organized 25 trainings and seminars all over Turkey. In the last 2 years, we have provided practical, economic and safe driving trainings to more than 1,600 operators. We are member and the regional system operator of the Concrete Sustainability Council, which is located in Geneva, Switzerland. This council was funded to implement a certification system showing how the concrete and its supply chain are environmentally friendly and sustainable construction materials. So in Turkey, we have certified 12 companies, including concrete and cement plants in the last 2 years. As THBB, we organized 28 congresses, fairs, and competitions in the last 32 years. We have an enterprise called KGS, a third-party certification body, and by this certification body, we've performed 2,689 audits in Turkey. We have a building materials laboratory of THBB, and we have performed concrete strength tests, mechanical tests, chemical tests, and calibration services for all our members and for all the stakeholders. We have reached more than 13,782 followers on our social media channels such as Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube channel. These are the numbers as of November 2020. Let's look at the sectoral statistics. Here you can see the RMC production of Turkey. In 2017, we reached a value of 115 million cubic meters. When we started producing RMC in Turkey, it was by the end of 1980s. So at that time, the production amount was around 2 million cubic meters. But now we are producing 67 million cubic meters. If we take into consideration the amount produced in 2019. The annual production per capita in 2017 was 1.43 cubic meters, and in 2019 it was 0.82 cubic meters. We are the biggest producer in Europe. As you can see here, when we take into consideration the total amount produced within European Union, in 2019 it was around 260 million cubic meters, and as Turkey, as you can see in red, we produce 67 million cubic meters. We have 900 batch plants in Turkey. The average concrete strength used in Turkey is C30-37, and SEM1 is the mostly used cement type in Turkey. I will present very briefly a new identifying and tracking system which is actively used. So as Turkey, we have the building inspection system. And in 2019, a new directive came into force to ensure the full control of concrete in compliance with the new earthquake code and to enhance the traceability of concrete quality to the end users. And for this purpose, now all the truck mixers loaded with ready-mix concrete are identified by a unique RFID tag. It is useful to link the truck mixer license plate to the producer and to the product. All the concrete samples taken by the third-party laboratory, authorized, of course, by the ministry, are identified by a unique RFID tag, which is inserted, as you can see on this video, inside the fresh concrete. The RFID tag is identified by a hand terminal, and all the information about the product is sent to a cloud-based system. The concrete samples identified by a unique RFID tag is stored in curing containers once they are demolded. Of course, the curing conditions are crucial, so due to the importance of the curing conditions, the curing temperature is monitored by the ministry system remotely, digitally. All the curing containers are equipped with sensors and transmitters. And when the concrete specimen is tested to measure its compressive strength, the compression testing machine can recognize the specimen by its RFID tag. All the compression testing machines, which are located at the third-party laboratories, are equipped with RFID tag readers. And after the test, the results are saved by the cloud-based system. Of course, by this directive, which came into force in 2019, identity testing obligation was extended and the concrete samples are digitally tracked. Of course, to trace the quality of concrete was the main purpose, but taking into consideration the actual status caused by the pandemic, I think this system is really helpful during this quite difficult period of pandemic also. So let's look at the effects of COVID-19. Here on this graph, you can see the growth compared to the same month of the previous year of the RMC production, starting from beginning of 2019 till September 2020. During the lockdown, the construction industry continued to work contrary to the other European countries. Hence, the demand on the RMC was not influenced dramatically, as you can see on this graph. After the lockdown, then starting from June 2020, an unexpected demand was realized, and the ready-mix concrete production has been continuing at a good level since June 2020. Let me present you the RMC index. It's a study which is carried out by THBB in cooperation with an independent consultancy company. This company, on behalf of THBB, is collecting data from our members, and based on these information, the activity index, the confidence index, and the expectation index are determined, and taking into consideration these three indexes, the ready-mix concrete index is calculated consequently. As you can see here, starting from June 2020, these indexes, and especially the ready-mix concrete index, seems to be above the threshold value of 100. So it's quite similar to what we've seen on this graph. So the issues related to pandemic, cement storage. Due to the shrinkage in local market and the depreciation in Turkish lira, the cement producers focused on export. For this reason, the RMC industry had difficulties in supplying cement. Unexpected demand. During the lockdown, the RMC companies preferred to shrink, both in human resources and equipment. But after the lockdown, unexpected demand was realized, as we've seen in the previous slide. And the production cost. Due to the influence of COVID-19 on economy, the inflation raised and the value of Turkish lira decreased, so the production cost increased. Uncertainty is another important issue. The pandemic caused disruptions in all processes, and employees' testing and quarantine necessities created organizational problems, especially in production and delivery. Let's look at the best practices. So here you can see the guide for ready-mix concrete companies during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is a guide prepared by ARMCO in cooperation with the Latin American Federation for Ready-Mix Concrete, FIB. So this guide was prepared first of all in Spanish, then translated into English, and then all the members of the European Ready-Mix Concrete organization, ARMCO, had the opportunity to translate this guide into their own languages. And similarly, THBB translated this guide into Turkish. Here you can see this guide in Turkish. And this guide is composed of 3 sections. The first one, the first part gives the details on what should do or what shouldn't do the truck mixer and pump operators. What are the precautions that should be taken in the truck mixer, and what should be done during the loading and unloading of concrete. If you would like to have more details on this guide, you can have this guide in English on the website of ARMCO and the Turkish version on the website of THBB. So let's look at the best practices. Trainings. Here you can see an example of the trainings, which is hand washing trainings. So to raise awareness, hand washing training kits were distributed to personnel just to show the microorganisms that mimic germs in the UV light to spot the remaining germs on the hands after washing the hands, to understand how properly or improperly they washed their hands. So it is one of the examples of trainings just to raise awareness. Of course, social distance is quite a crucial parameter. So some measures have been taken to ensure the social distance in the plant. For this purpose, unemployed, unauthorized persons are strictly prohibited from entering the power plant and weight bridge cabin. Operators were informed that they had to disinfect their hands after the delivery note exchange. Masks, gloves, and hand disinfectants were distributed to all personnel. It was informed also that contact with pump controls and truck mixer concrete chutes must be done with disposable gloves. Hand disinfectants were given to all personnel individually. Arrangements to minimize social distance. So necessary arrangements have been implemented, especially in the cafeterias. Some separators are placed on the tables, nameplates are affixed to the tables, and only one person can eat at each table in the cafeterias. Meals are served as a package, in a package. To improve the immune system, the necessary food is provided to the staff. Water is supplied to the staff in plastic bottles. And as you can see on the picture on your right-hand side, delivery ticket boxes are placed outside in order to prevent contact caused by exchange in the plant batch cabinets. Special protective overalls for operators were provided. So the operators have to wear these protective overalls when they start working at the plant and when they are on site. So daily disinfection and disposal of these overall protective overalls. At the end of the day, the protective overalls with the name of the staff are subjected to disinfection. Disinfected protective overalls are worn at work the next day. The protective overalls that have expired are thrown into medical waste bins at the facilities and collected in padded containers, and the waste demand is created from the system to remove the accumulated waste. And for the disposal of medical waste, the licensed company authorized to collect the waste is contacted. Disinfection of vehicles, rooms, and offices. Of course, to disinfect all areas and vehicles at the plant, disinfection device and liquid approved by the Ministry of Health is provided. The application is made in daily periods. So toolbox conversations and trainings are conducted outside, paying attention to social distance rules and special medical services. So, a scanning test setup was formed in collaboration with some private hospitals at the plants in order to ensure that the contacts of COVID-19 positive employees take the test. Consultancy was taken from the medical team specialized at epidemic diseases at the private hospitals for 2 days in a week regarding the measures taken at the plant. Ambulance shuttle was organized in a way to respond 24 hours, 7 days, along with 8 health professionals and the emergency support line. A detailed inspection was conducted by the occupational health and safety team and the medical team of these private hospitals regarding the usage of masks and other measures taken at the plants. Some employee assistance programs were launched. These programs are accessible to all the employees and their family members, and these programs were initiated which offer 24 hours, 7 days consultancy and information service on potential stress causes that they would like to seek with help. And the service includes medical, health, nutrition, and psychological consultancy via phone, as well as for online psychological counseling sessions. What else? Online meetings have been held, flexible working hours have been implemented, agreements with health institutions for COVID-19 tests were signed, thermal cameras and digital thermometers have been used. The number of transportation services for the staff has increased to have less people in the cars, in the shuttles. Those in the critical group were allowed to work from home. The references that we've used, Turkish Statistical Institute data, the European Ready-Mix Concrete Organization statistics, Turkish Ready-Mix Concrete Association survey based on the feedback of our members, Çimko Cement and Ready-Mix Concrete Company presentations, Akçansı Cement and Ready-Mix Concrete Company, Heidelberg Cement Turkey presentations. So thank you very much for your interest. Have a nice day.